Welcome, kings and queens. Yes, today we are talking love and marriage, DC. Y'all, this was a good episode, in my opinion. And I really thought it was solid from start to finish. Like, I'm sitting here wowed. And the reason I say that is because I'm like, wow, they got it. So far, the producers, they got it. They're building this thing up. And we're about to enter into the climax phase, right? The next episode looks like it is going to be fire. And it's so good how they are really taking this thing strategically and placing different people in the rooms to force conversations. And it's needed conversations, right? It's not ambush, but it's conversations that would never be had if producers didn't move strategically like they are moving. And I love it. I love what they're doing with this, you guys, because they are forcing people to share their real lives and their real truths when it comes to reality television. And producers, let me say this. So far, you are off to a dynamic start with Love and Marriage DC. I love the realness of it, even if it's uncomfortable for the cast members. And if it's the same producers on Love and Marriage DC that works with the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, we need this same strategy to be applied to the Scotts. We need this same strategy to be applied to Destiny, the Scotts, and anybody else that has attempted to utilize Melody Cherie as their storyline. We need you to completely rip the Band-Aid off, force the realness out of them, because you are doing an amazing job with the cast of Love and Marriage DC. With that being said, I am ready to jump right in if you are. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. So they start the episode off with Clifton and Joy. Y'all, wait a minute. Listen, that is the most beautiful property that I've yet to see displayed on reality TV when it comes to love and marriage, anything. Y'all, Clifton, can we just come out and get a little tour? I love water. I love nature. Y'all, that was the most beautiful, serene property. And they have like this pathway, this pier that leads out to the water. Absolutely gorgeous property. I fell in love with the property. It was breathtaking. It was a breathtaking scene to see Joy and Clifton show us their new home. I'm absolutely loving this. It was so beautiful. I love the property. Love, love, love it. So they got off to a start. So they started that off showing their home, and, Joy was sharing that they finally got what they wanted, and they get into a discussion about the relationship and expanding their family. So Joy tells Clifton, or she shares with Clifton, that she wants to plant her feet on the ground first. She wants to make sure she's planted, and she wants to feel solid. And he looked at her as if he's shocked, as if this is his first time hearing this. And he says, "So you're not grounded?" Red flag for me, right? So I immediately thought to myself, sir, is this the first conversation that y'all are having about your relationship? Or are we just doing this for cameras? I'm inclined. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm inclined to believe that this is for the cameras, okay? Because I would sure hate to think that you two have bought a home or purchased a home together, and this is your first conversation about expanding your family and having children. So I'm going to go with, you're just doing this for television, a little bit of shock value, a little bit of entertainment for us, to give us something to chew on. And I'm cool with that. But one thing, if the producers keep up the good work like they've been doing thus far, we will get to the bottom of it. All right. So I kind of feel like Clifton in this scene was stacking questions one after the other, and just kind of rapid fire approach with Joy. Like, give her a second. Let her answer one question, hear her out, and then move on to the second question, Clifton. Yeah, I just kind of felt like you missed your opportunity, Clifton, to really hone in and listen to her. Now, let's talk about body language, because there was something particular that stood out to me from a body language standpoint. And I noticed that Clifton had his hands crossed the entire time, even at the end when he kissed her. Now, body language 101, anytime someone crosses their arms, it's actually a subconscious way to protect themselves. So I don't know if Clifton was protecting himself from this conversation or protecting himself from Joy. So I don't know. I found it interesting that he kept his arms crossed and folded the entire time. So I guess my question is to Clifton is, have you really opened up for love? And I mean really opened up. Do you really love Joy? I want to talk about Arena and how Arena's moving. Okay. When I first, I'm going to say it was the first episode, perhaps. I said, wow, I did a review, season 2, episode 1. And I called it The Battle for the Throne, The Battle for the Crown. And I said, Arena and Ashley are fighting to be queen. I want to talk about that a little bit. I think Arena has already subconsciously deemed herself as queen of the throne by the way she's moving. Let's jump to the scene with Arena and Joy. So Arena is forever glammed up. First of all, let me say that. Remember I said I think she's deemed herself subconsciously as the queen of the throne. Look at the symbolism of it all. The way she dresses, which is neither here nor there. But it's like royalty, right? She's not going to go less than. It's always a step above, even if it's not appropriate for the occasion. So I've noticed that. So Arena, I'm just giving you a hard time with that from head to toe. Even for the painting thing between she and Joy, Arena, you were overdressed. So she and Joy repeat the wedding conversation, and it's pretty much the same response from Joy. Now, Arena, I've noticed that you've been stirring the pot for the past 2 episodes, if I'm correct. You've kind of been stirring the pot. And I'm not really sure where you're going with this, but I think it's going to backfire on you come next episode and also throughout the course of the season. I think if you're not careful, you are going to open a can of worms and you are going to create your own crazy amongst these women, this group of women. So anywho, Arena's stirring a pot. She's gossiping with Joy. She's being a bone collector and sharing bits and pieces of conversations with Joy regarding what other people have had to say about different things. Why, Arena? That's my question to you. Why are you repeating the back and forth? Why do you feel the need to stir the pot? Okay. So it comes out, y'all, in this conversation. In the scene between Arena and Joy, that Sherelle was a side chick. Okay. And I'm like, here we go. The same thing. You remember we watched the same thing with Kimmy. Kimmy's now the wife on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Sherelle is now the wife on Love and Marriage DC. But both of them, it's been rumored, alleged, we don't know this to be true, that they were both side chicks. And both of them are denying it. So I don't know. But Arena, when you start saying things like that, actually it was Joy. Naturally a woman is going to respond defensively. Then we find out from Arena that Jamie Sr. was her side dude. Yeah, imagine that. Wow. Joy shares that she hates Sherelle's husband. Y'all, that's a hell of a word. Joy, that's a hell of a word. Hate? So you hate this man regarding something that happened over 10 years ago. Joy, I need you to check your meter, your emotional meter. That's a bit out of balance when we think about grudges and letting go. All right. So, yeah, we save the best for last. The Tylers and just this thing that they have going on with their son. So the couples meet up, the Tylers and the Silvas. They meet up because they wanted to speak. The Silvas wanted to speak with Jamie Sr. regarding his disposition and his attitude towards his son. So they do a little icebreaker. That's appropriate, right? It's positive before negative. And they did a little icebreaker by way of fun and games before diving in to have this deep conversation. Listen, once they kicked this conversation off, I could so appreciate Quick in this moment. I can appreciate a man holding another man accountable. This is like, it's not rare we see this. And if it does happen, it's typically behind the scenes or it doesn't happen at all. And if I could be 100% transparent, this is what we needed to see on Love and Marriage Huntsville regarding Martell. It would have been so refreshing and so empowering to see the men hold an intervention in a similar conversation with Martell and say, hey, dude, listen, we're not liking what you're saying, how you're behaving, and how you are treating your ex-wife, and it doesn't sit well with us. But that's not what they did on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Instead, they all ganged up and attacked Melody. So it's really refreshing to see Quick look Jamie in the eyes and say, hey, it bothered me and my wife the way you talk about your son and your attitude towards your son. It's heartbreaking to hear you say that as a Black father. I was here for it. He confronted Jamie Sr. about how he refers to his son. So round of applause for you, Quick. Y'all, Arena was speechless. Arena was speechless, honey. That crown tilted on her head and the queen was thrown off balance. She lost her footing because she didn't expect him to bring it up. Okay. And she said it. Arena and Jamie Sr. in their confessional, they said, I guess the producer must have asked them, ooh, what are your thoughts regarding the conversation that Quick brought up? And they both said that they were shocked and they didn't expect Quick to bring that up on a double date. I think what you meant, Arena, was you didn't expect him to bring it up on national television. I think you expected him to sweep your under the rug so that you all could continue to pretend as if you had a picture perfect life. This was so epic to me in more ways than one. And Arena took the approach of, wait a minute, I didn't hear my husband degrade or call my son any names because I would have had a problem with that. Arena, Queen, take a seat. Let me school you for a second. You didn't hear it because you've become accustomed to it. Okay? You've become accustomed to your husband's verbal assaults towards your son, and it no longer impacts you emotionally. That's what has happened, Arena. That's why you didn't hear it. Because your husband indeed called your son a bum. They rolled the tapes, honey. They rolled the tapes. It came out of his mouth. Okay? Now, Jamie Sr., my question to you is, now that you are aware that you indeed said it, because you apologized for it in your confessional, I told you were breaking your son's heart in every review I've done. But back to the question at hand. Now that you're aware that you indeed said it, do you have any intention on apologizing to your son publicly? Okay? That's the kind of energy I need from you. Because you said it publicly on national television. Do you have any intention outside of your confessional to get your ass on TV like a man and apologize to your son for degrading him? That's my question to you. Now, I want to switch gears here just for a second. Last year, I was not feeling Ashley at all, but I am loving the way she has taken this reality thing. She's showing up with substance and depth this year, and I'm here for it. I am mesmerized by the potential impact that Ashley and Quick can have from a community perspective. Quick laid in accountability lashing on Jamie. He whooped your ass with accountability, Jamie Sr. And you know what? It rendered you speechless. It rendered you speechless. Okay? Now, Jamie Sr.'s rebuttal in his confessional is he get what Quick is saying, but he doesn't really like the way that Quick words it. Sir, that's probably how your son feels regarding how you word things about him. However, Jamie Sr., I got to give you a little bit of credit because you were able to sit there and receive the message. You did receive the message, and I appreciate you just taking it all in and allowing Quick to say what he wanted to say. Now, this is what I need from you, Jamie Sr. I'm glad you were able to listen, but I need you to stop shitting on your son. You cannot utilize this television production to shit on your son and drag your son on national television. It's morally wrong. I'm going to keep coming at you. I'm going to keep coming at you on all of my reviews, and I'm going to keep reminding you, you cannot do that to your lineage. Okay? It's not good. Now, here's my thing about Jamie Sr. in addition to what I just shared. In one breath, you accuse him of acting out and wanting to end his life. You said, oh, he's just doing that for attention. However, on the other hand, when he gets into trouble and has to go to court, you and Arena march down there like the Queen and the King of England, and you utilize your influence from your law enforcement background and your networking power to walk into that courtroom with him so that he receives leniency. That's my problem with you. Okay? If you really want your son to grow up, stop going to court with him. Let him go on his own. You say, you told Quick, we're not talking about a 14-year-old child. We're talking about a 26-year-old man. Okay, then man it is. Let that man go to court by himself, sir. Listen, Ashley made a very good point. Ashley stated, I don't think Jamie Sr. is ready to come to grips nor terms that his parenting has played a huge part in how Jamie Jr. has turned out. Stop going to court with him. If you feel like this is a grown man, because he is, stop. Stop showing up to court with him, because it behooves me that you'll show up to court with them, but you won't get a mental health support. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Okay? I think the reason, and this is all alleged, and I'm utilizing my thoughts and my perspective for educational and teaching moments, I believe that you could be going to court with him to protect your own reputation. That you're positioning yourself to be this father to the rescue every time you go to court with him. And that's not right, because you really don't care at the end of the day. And I know Quick says some really tough and strong words, but you really don't like your son. You may love your son, but you don't like your son. So stop going to court with him if you want him to grow up. And the day you stop going to court with him, he has no choice but to man up. All right? He has no choice but to man up. And once he becomes a man and he mans up and he can stand on his own 2 feet, then that opens up the doorway, in my opinion, for the two of you to begin the journey to do the deep work that you should have done many years ago in his teen years behind the scenes and really assess why Jamie Jr. is the way he is. But I believe you want no parts of that, because in order to participate in that, you would have to deconstruct who you are and really look at yourself in the mirror. And I think that scares you shitless, to have to face yourself in the mirror and really utter the truth to yourself that you failed your son. All right? So they end this episode at Brittany's home, which is Jamie's stepdaughter. Yeah. Arena had her daughter Brittany before she met Jamie Sr. Okay. So Brittany invites the family over to get together to talk about where do we go from here. And none of them know, y'all, that the other is coming. She invites Jamie Jr., she invites the grandmother, she invites Arena and Jamie Sr. Check this out. Jamie Jr. is the first to arrive. And he pulls up in this really nice car that he should not be driving, in my opinion, for a man that does not have a job. Make it make sense. Now, he don't have a job. Jamie Sr. stays on this kid, on this boy's butt about being a bum. Those are your words. Unemployed, no money. Then how did he get a car like that? How did he get a car like that? Father, you bought it. You bought it. Do y'all not remember what I said last week? Check out my video. Check out my video. I said, maybe, just maybe, you keep your foot on his neck to keep him submitted to your authority, allegedly, which is doing more harm than it is good. You know what you're doing. You're buying him all of this nice shit that he cannot afford, and it keeps him dependent on you like a welfare system. It's systemic oppression. You are oppressing your own son in the most reverse psychological way. And I think you know it. You dangle all of this material shit in front of him, and your son jumps on it like a rat on a box of cheese. Your son is in love with the glamour, just like you and Arena are, and you keep him. You keep him a prisoner of his own emotions by way of material things that he can never afford and get on his own. Okay? If that were my son, and he's living with me at age 26, and he does not have a job, his vehicle would be reflective of a man that does not have a job. Do you get what I'm saying? No, sir, you do not have a job. So your car will say, I don't have a job. And you can work your way up to that nice car. But until then, you will not be flossing and living a lie. And I think that's the problem with the Tylers. You're living a complete lie. A complete lie. And y'all keep loading this young man up with material things, but you're not doing the soul work. You're not doing the soul work that requires healing and emotional well-being and a strong family connection. Now, here's my thing. Okay. Let me get my thoughts together. I'm about to wrap it up. Whomever the producer is that's working with Quick and Brittany, woo, kudos to you. Great job. I love the necessary setups. It's needed to get to the heart of the matter. We need more of this. We need more of this. We need this on the Scotts because you guys are doing a fantastic job. The producers that are assigned to Brittany and Quick and Ashley. I love the setups. You are building the momentum. And overall, I have to give you a 10 of 10 for solid content. Thank you. Love and Marriage DC. This was an excellent episode.